YouTube, what's up? It's Tim. So anyway, I seen the post on Reddit. It was about how to be more assertive and the Aspergers Reddit. Now I've been in the Aspergers Reddit for a while because I found out some people I knew and people that's in the family might have that. And I wanted to figure out what it was about. So I was looking up a lot of stuff about it. I came across the pages and everything, and I see this post today. Now I've been looking in the Reddit from some time, but I saw this one today and it popped out to me. I said I could make a video on that. I could help these people. So anyway, quick tip on the assertiveness before I even get to the post, because I'm gonna bring up the post. I already created a list that I can show you all. I think it'll be easy for y'all to follow the list that I created, but I'm also gonna say something right now. The main thing you're gonna need to be assertive, period. Now, people might say stuff like confidence, stuff like that, but in order to have confidence, you gotta like yourself. And what I've noticed about a lot of Asperger's people, they get diagnosed and they'll tell people, oh, it's depression, it's social anxiety, it's this. But I learned that the Asperger's has nothing to do with any of those symptoms. Those symptoms are a result of having Asperger's and being treated properly because you have Asperger's and people didn't like it when you were a kid. So you develop that other stuff. That's not a part of the diagnosis. That's why a lot of people think they might have it and then they go and they get tested and they don't. And it looks similar because you all learn to express yourself differently because people took that away from you. So if you have Asperger's, you have to get in touch with yourself to develop your confidence. And your main superpower, I know people patronize Asperger. People say you have a superpower, and it's like that's some bull. Like I'm basically disabled. That I see it, and I know how y'all feel when y'all hear that. But this is the real superpower you have: honesty. You all love the truth. You love being straightforward. You love being direct. Assertiveness is just that. Now, people probably took that from you when you were a kid because say you're honest, you're too honest. I saw this the other day with Kim Kardashian and Kanye's kid. I don't know if you saw Kanye's daughter. I think it's North, but they were talking about something. She asked North's opinion. She told her straight up. She said, "Oh, you can't do that." And she said, "Oh, okay." Now that's happened to a lot of kids, like who are honest when they're young, or even have Asperger's. But the difference between Asperger's people and normal people, I noticed Asperger's people really, really don't even know another way. So other people find other ways to get what they want. Asperger's people just shut down when they say, "Oh, I can't be direct." Okay, and they shut down. That directness is where your assertiveness is, and that's why a lot of people push you back because nobody likes to be direct in this world. So I'm saying if you're in a situation where you feel like you got to be assertive, you have to tap into that directness that you already have, bring it out. That's the perfect place for it. That's where you're going to need it the most. So don't act like that's not part of you. Don't act like it doesn't exist. Just don't use it all the time. But when it's a situation needed, like you need to be assertive, bring that side of yourself out. Just say straight up what's on your mind, how you feel. It'll get you far. I promise that. Now we're gonna go to the post. So right here, I'm gonna read it really quick. Well, before I do that, we're gonna bring my face up. You know, it's my video. Let me bring my face up real quick. There we go. All right. It says any quick hacks for assertion. I know generally quick hacks aren't great, but I need some assertion and ability to stand up for myself and challenge people quickly. I have never been truly good at it, but there was a point where I had a level of confidence and could do it to an extent. Although I may have been bordering on aggressive at that point at certain times. We're gonna look into that too. I'm gonna talk to you about that. But now my confidence is shot to you know where, and I'm no good in simple situations. It's pathetic. I'd rather be overly aggressive than a total wimp. A lot of people agree with that. A lot of men, like some people say, no, you don't want to do that, but a lot of men who've been shot down, who've been put down, they agree with that. Possible, he typed that weird. Possible a physical injury partly turned to confidence, but I don't think it's all to blame. Anybody got any good resources or YouTube people with good stuff on this? RVD. Now, this comment I didn't like, and this is what really prompted me to make the video, is this, because this guy says, tell them more about the situation. What is your boundary that is not being respected? Also, this might be tricky because tone is very important here. The tone is difficult to express in writing. See, I don't challenge people in general, even in minor things. I don't speak up and remain silent often in day-to-day living. Now he just said what he needed. This guy says still too generic. There's no single way to be assertive. There is, and that's by being direct. And he says every situation is different. What was the level of boundary that was violated? How well does the defender take correction? Minor things may not be worth speaking up. Being overly aggressive may be worse than not speaking up. And he says, my mind isn't too clear. I'm aware I have the most descriptive. And basically, he's saying this in this part, but I got it from the beginning. He's not going to talk about the things people done because everybody had been in, well, not everyone, but certain people like this, everyone like this has been in a situation where you didn't like something, you let it go too far, and you embarrassed to even think about it. But you know you shouldn't have, it shouldn't have been that way, but you didn't have the tools to say anything at the time. So this is where I come in. Now we're gonna go to a list of things you can do, and the list is somewhat generic, but I'm gonna put my spice on it because I'm not just gonna give you a list of that. I'm gonna give you a list of things people are doing because a lot of times with men, this video is for men, by the way. This video is for male Aspergers people, not just men, but I would say males. If you're in the age where you're having to be around a bunch of other males, males will do this type of dominant type of stuff, and it's gonna come. And what I'm noticing is a lot of people with Asperger's, what happens is it's not that you're getting bullied because you have Asperger's. Like that could be part of it, but the real reason is they're doing things and you're not catching it fast enough because you're not social. So the stuff happens and happens and happens. Then when they come with this big bag of disrespect, like where'd that come from? And it's too late. So what I'm gonna do is at the end of the list of things, generic stuff to kind of do, I'm gonna give you things, signs that this person's gonna try to disrespect you and how to stop it. All right. So let's go to the list. All right. So, like I said, use clear and direct language. Say what you mean without being vague or overly apologetic. Simple. So you just say, hey, I want to talk to you. Hey, I like to talk to you. That's say, hey, I like to talk to you. I wouldn't say that. Make it your language. Because if you say it, if you follow this list, this is why I said at the beginning, be yourself. Deep, dig down deep, find that part of you, say what you feel about the situation. Somebody say something that, you know, and you like, hey, I gotta talk to you. That's what I would say, because that's how I talk. So however you talk, say that to them. It says practice confident body language. Now, that I don't know how you some of y'all might slouch, whatever. I don't have this problem. Might help that I was in the military, but either way, I don't have this problem too much of sitting up straight, standing up straight. Well, I don't sit too straight, but you know what I mean. Like I can stand with men and look them in the eye and all that. Yeah, so don't really fidget too much and move around. So, but it's gonna be hard for you still with the Asperger's because you're gonna like a robot regardless. One thing that's why I said love yourself because you have to accept that a lot of people are gonna just be like, I don't like this person, and they're not gonna know why. You just gotta say, forget them. But yes, you want to always stand up straight. That's simple. Just stand up straight. What I mean by that is when you stand up, make sure you stick your chest out some, and it'll naturally make the rest of you stand up straight. So you can't be slouched if you stick your chest out. It's almost impossible to slouch and do that at the same time. So just stick your chest out, stand up. Real simple. And like it says, keep facial expressions calm but firm. You don't really have a problem with that with Asperger's. You probably got a straight face anyway that scares people. They think you're a murderer or whatever. Um, avoid fidgeting. Yeah, definitely do that. Like when you're being serious, try to sit still and look this person and tell them. Now, with the whole looking people in the eye thing and the maintaining the eye contact, I know that's hard for some of y'all. So I would say don't do that one. The maintain the eye contact. Don't do this unless you're sure you can hold it, because you don't know how long you have to hold it. And if you take your eye off them, you lose. That's a dominance game. And so if you start that game and can't finish it, you're gonna lose. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's weak." I don't know why life is like this. It just is. So I would say when you know you're in that situation, if it happened already, like I don't go around staring at people, but if you lock eyes and you can tell, like you get a sense like this guy's trying to intimidate me, you cannot look away. But here's how you can do it without breaking eye contact first. You can break it with words. Say, what, you trying to intimidate me or something? You can break it. Or you can say, hey, what's up? Do you need something? You can say something. if you all are looking at each other that long. And if it gets to the point where you feel like you gotta tell them something and you looking them straight in the eye, look right here or right here. That way you get the illusion of looking at their eyes, but you don't have to faint when it happens. You know what I mean? Or treat it like a staring contest. As a kid, because I hated losing as a kid, so when I get into these type of situations, I treat it like a staring contest. I'm not gonna look away. Like we just gonna have to fight. You know, with our eyes. I didn't say fight yet. Now, know your rights and boundaries. That's self-explanatory, but it's gonna say it. Don't say yes when you mean no. And no is a complete sentence for sure. You can literally say no. That's my favorite thing to do. Like, well, actually, my favorite word to say is nope. Nope. It's real easy. Like nope or can't. That's it. They hey, you want can't, but I nope. So all that, but yes, know your rights and boundaries. Set limits on what you willing to accept and tolerate. So if you're a grown person, I don't know whose rules you're following, but if you do live on your own, you got your own rules in a sense. So you can sometimes a lot of people who have Asperger's grew up, but they never felt like they grew up, so they didn't give themselves like that feeling of I'm a man, this is my life, this is my stuff. When you get that feeling, you can do more in life. You say, hey, I don't got to do this. I'm a grown man. I can go somewhere else, or I can do this, or I can do that. When you have that about yourself, when that's inside of you, you do much better in life. You have to develop that. That comes with time, but it starts with the confidence. But once that comes with it, once you get enough confidence, you'll start feeling it. You have your own place, you have your own stuff. Say, you know what? I'm doing good. And even if you don't, just know you're a human being. God didn't put you here to suffer. God didn't put you here to get bullied and everything. You could just say, hey, I deserve to be on this planet like you. You know what I mean? Just have that feeling inside of you, and it works. Number 4 is kind of like went over what we said. Use I statements. Express how you feel without blaming others. I like to blame people. I'm not going to lie to you, but this is the politically correct way to say it. But like me, if I'm real mad and I feel like you did something to me, I'm telling you it's you. That makes me feel good. And I would say whatever helps you get your point across without actually touching the person or cursing them out, but saying it. You can go that far if they go far. But if this is for the beginning, if they're not going too far. Like I said, no is a complete sentence, so I jump ahead of myself. But, it's here. Practice saying no without guilt. That's real easy. Say no, and then select the mute on them. Real easy. They say, can you do that? No. No. And then they say why, select the mute. You don't have to say anything else. And if they keep asking, say no is a complete sentence. My silence is a period. That's it. This one's really good. Start small is really good. This right here is the best one, I think, because you're not gonna, don't go into a crazy big situation because you're gonna get scared because you're not used to it. And I'm a person like this. I won't even say I get scared, but something about me where if I haven't practiced some, I'm gonna mess it up the first time. So this is what you're gonna need practice, which is what a role play. I got both of these kind of together. These are the most important ones, I think, for all of this stuff. You got to do these two with this. So don't just take this list and go out and start trying to do it. At least develop some quick statements in your mind you can throw out. It's like you need something really quick in your back pocket that you can use fast, right? So start small. So little small situations. So for instance, somebody asks you for a pencil. Not really, don't just force it though. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to force it, but there are gonna be things that come up where you're gonna feel like I don't feel like doing that. Just say nah, something like that or whatever. Now, rehearse assertive conversations with a friend or a coach. You don't even have to do that. You can be in the mirror. I promise you can be in the mirror. Here's all you got to do. You can go to the mirror and say, in this guy's case, right? Valuable dig. You might even watch this. Actually, I'll post it here so you can watch it. But you already have situations. You know exactly what's bothering you. Take that situation back to the mirror. Or it don't even got to be in the mirror. Just take it back. Just have a room, have space so you can practice your body unfiltered and do this stuff. Because what's gonna happen is if you move your body in this way, you do these things. What's gonna happen is it's gonna come natural to you when you're in these situations. Now, I'm not telling you to move around like that because that might scare some people and might cause a fight. But I'm saying, you got to be comfortable in your body so that way when this situation comes up, it happens so quick, it comes natural, so people can tell it's not forced and they don't try to hurt you more or do things more. And the reason I say my video is for men, and the reason why I keep bringing up hurt is because I notice with males, at least where I come from, and a lot of the places, these rules that I'm gonna give you and the stuff I'm gonna tell you below is more so for environments where violence can kind of ensue or bad things like people might try to rob you or they might try to take some from you or stuff like that. That's why I'm doing this, and I want because Aspergers men can just end up being victims, and we don't need that. So anyway, stay calm and respectful. Now this one I agree with, but I also don't agree with in a sense. So I would say stay calm and respectful. If say they do something and it can be, if you don't get the feeling that they were actually trying to be disrespectful, but you just want them to know you don't like what they did, then yes. But if you get that feeling like you, and everybody gets this feeling, you can tell like this person's trying to do this to me. Like it feels like you doing this to me. Say that. You can get a little bit more like, hey, I don't like that. Don't do that to me. You can bring that bass in your voice a little bit. Say, hey, I don't like what you just did. Real simple. Now, this is what I want to go into. We're gonna get there because real life situations. What I have is basically things that men are gonna do. Certain men, not every man, but certain men are gonna do that are. It's like these are things that showing that they feel like they might be above you, so they're gonna start doing things. They're gonna try to put you down, try to do other stuff, and if you don't kind of say something or do something, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm above him," and you don't want that. Like, I know it sucks to have to even participate in this garbage and these social games and this dominance and all that crap, but it's part of life. And if you don't acknowledge it, this is where you'll get disrespected. And I'm willing to bet 90% of the time, when a person with Asperger's something getting disrespected, it's because of this part right here. You're missing these things. So I'm gonna tell you a lot of the stuff. So we got lists right here. Standing too close to you. That's a sign number one that the person might not respect you already, but they also comfortable trying to disrespect you, and they might do something to you later. So, and what I have here and how I set this list up, and the bold is just what they're gonna do, and this, the lower, the not bold, whatever you want to call that, that's what I would have you to do in that situation, or what I would even do. This is how you counter it, pretty much the counter. So basically, this is the question. The bold is the question. The non-bold is the answer. So this is what you have to do. Imagine you have an invisible box around you that's at least an arm's length, and don't let anyone who you're unfamiliar with in this box. If they do, this is what I'll do. I say, hey, you're in my box of personal space. Could you move? Or, hey, don't touch me. I don't know you. Hey, it's real quick. Hey, could you get back? Hey, it's easy. You see how much space this is? Right? And what I'm saying, I said that because a lot of times dudes, what they'll do, they'll get close to you. Now, I said don't even let them get close to you. Do this. But say you've missed that somehow. They're going to start doing little stuff, touching you, pushing you, shoving you, trying to do little wrestling moves on you, rubbing you all around and stuff. Now, even in the past, I let stuff like that happen. I didn't think it was nothing of it till later. And I realized why certain things would happen to me in life. And it's because I would ignore little things like that. So I learned not to ignore that stuff no more. I didn't like it then, obviously, but I was just like, well, my thing was when I was younger, I would get too mad over stuff. So I learned to just hold, like, I'm not going to say nothing. So I let a lot of stuff go. And that's why I'm saying you don't want to have this mindset. Minor things may not be worth speaking up. I feel like if you're like this guy, everything's worth speaking up for. It's just not worth it in a crazy way. You should always speak up, but not in a wild way. Like, meaning, let's say, Um, you know, if somebody step on your shoe, like, hey, you did step on my shoe. Simple. It don't gotta be, hey, you don't gotta go nuts, but you gotta say something. Cause that stuff adds up. Stepping on your shoes, one I didn't put on here, but that is one. But I guess that's in your space. So that counts. So they shouldn't have done that. But that's one of them. People will step on your shoes. They'll do things like touch you, do whatever, pretend to drop something on you. It's a lot of things people do. And it's them saying they tougher than you, better than you. They think they're bigger than you, whatever. They think they're cooler than you. I don't know what it is, but they'll do it and they're going to treat you that way. And the only way out of that is to kind of stop them and say, hey, I don't like how you acting around me, pretty much. Don't let them even get close to you. If they start touching you, hey, what you touching me for? I feel like if they touch you, that's automatic raising voice, getting them off you. Back away from them, push them off you, back away. So it depends on who you are. We're going to get into the two sides. But either, hey, you can't touch me, or back away. Hey, don't touch me. But you got to make a scene out of that because they touched you. So you got to make a scene out of that. I promise you. Do not just say, hey, I don't touch me. People don't take that serious. You got to be like, hey, what you doing? Don't touch me. Like, it got to be a scene. Now, I'm not saying you got to punch them, but you got to, the scene has to be there. Either you jump back, hey, what are you doing? What you touching me for? Or if you were more, angry individual, whatever, you can do that part. You can engage with them, but I would not suggest that because everybody do MMA these days and they box, or people might have guns or whatever. I would say don't do that, and we're gonna get into MMA and all that stuff later. All right, so the next thing, saying disrespectful stuff to you or things that's borderline disrespectful. Now, in my opinion, you this is a thing you kind of got a feeling for. You know it when, like I said, when somebody say something, you kind of feel it. Like, I don't like how you said that. So just say that. I don't like how you said that. What are you trying to say to me? Anything. It sounds like you're being disrespectful toward me. I don't like that. Be honest. The directness and the honesty is gonna get you far. So once again, like in this guy's case, like he said, if he remembers this situation, if you remember that situation or any situation you had, go to your room, your quiet place, whatever. Remember what they said, and then respond how you would have responded. Now, the only difference is, because I don't know, people say, oh, they think of their responses in the shower and stuff. The thing is, you have to say it, because if you do it with enough repetition, when it does happen again or something similar like that to happen, when you get that feeling, it's gonna come out of you quick because you'll remember it. So you gotta remember how you felt in that moment when they said it, and then have your response ready and then say it. So like one guy here on this post had something really good here, where he says he has a few simple lines like, back off me. Having something like that is really good, because if you get flustered, it'll come out quick anyway, because it's a natural saying to you. It'll become like you're saying. So hey, back away from me. That might, even if you're going meltdown mode, what do they call it? I think it's meltdown or shutdown, whatever, where you feel like you can't. I'm positive you can say, hey, back off me, or hey, I don't like that. That's like the quickest thing you can do. Say, I don't like that, and use your body to showcase the rest. If you don't have anything else, that's the quickest thing you do. Say, I don't like that. So they'll say disrespectful things or borderline disrespectful. Now, the reason I haven't gotten into that yet is because this is different for everybody. But it would behoove you to learn what your culture and what your area deems as disrespect, because what used to happen to me is a lot of things people took the disrespect. I thought they was taking too far. Like, say with the shoes, you step on my shoe, it's just a shoe, but that can lead to so many other things that you kind of gotta do something about the shoe. You ain't gotta beat them up, but you gotta say, hey, you gotta do something, only because now you don't have to do that in every situation. But I'm saying, you kind of gotta learn, you know. Anyway, that's gonna happen. So the disrespect, I can't give you clear examples because it's different for everybody. But I'll say, when you feel it, either it's only two things. Like what I type here is, even if it isn't disrespectful to you, but it is to the average person, address it, and vice versa. Meaning, if everybody else think you going crazy, but you don't like it, say something. If you don't like it, if it's making you feel that way, like, I don't like this feeling, say something. So, because if you feel it's disrespect, if you feel disrespected, it's disrespect. You got to shut it down sooner than later. You have to stop it soon. I promise you, you have to. Another one, treating like you're stupid. Like there was a time I remember where I was saying something. I was talking about no, a guy was talking about working somewhere on a farm, and I told him I went to a dairy. I worked on a dairy farm. No, he said a ranch. He said a ranch, I believe, and I said I worked on a farm, and he said, well, it's a ranch, not a farm, but okay. I'm like, they're the same thing, you know. And he's like, no. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. We could look up the definition. We look it up, and it's pretty much the same thing. Like a ranch is just a farm more for the animals, whatever. But the way he said it, it made me feel that way. Like, why are you talking like that to me? Like I'm dumb. Like, you know what I mean? And you will feel that. So people will do some content and stuff to you. So this is one I got, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't even say this, but I typed it because I don't know how you would talk, and this sounds kind of good. It sounds like you're being condescending towards me, and I don't like it. See me, I would take all that front part off, say, "Hey, I don't like what you're saying. Like it sounds like you think I'm stupid or something." That's what I would say. But you know, this looks better on a video, so I put that. Now, they gonna ask you to do stuff. They gonna be like, hey, can you go over there and give me this? Hey, can you hand me what's the name over there? Hey, bro, can you? It's always, hey, take this in there and do this, or hey, can you do that? Hey, what about can you? Or let me get this. That's the tone I'm using because it's not gonna be like, hey, you better go do this because everybody gonna say no to that. But you'll still get a feeling like they're gonna still be trying to like run you around, like get you, hey, you do this, you do that. Hey, can you do this? Hey man, get me that. Hey, what about and you'll feel it, you'll know it. So if you don't want to do all that, just say no is the simple one. No is real simple. My favorite, what I do, and this is what I'm saying, when I'm in a mode where I can't think and what everything, but I know I want to do whatever, I just say can't. And I mean it. Can't do it. Can't do it. I won't say nothing else. I'm like, can't do it. They're like, but what? No, can't do it. I can't do it. And then they'll do it themselves or whatever. And another one is this one. Cutting you off while you're talking in a group session. This is another one that leads to bigger disrespect. So what I'm saying, if somebody's able to do like 2 to 3 of these things to you, they put you in a whole new category. It's gonna be hard to get out of. You pretty much gonna have to fight and beat that person up to get out of it. I'm sorry, but that's how this works. Like I promise you, in certain areas. Other areas, I don't know what you would do. Like if it's an office setting, I actually have no idea what you would do. But they do these same things, but it's a little bit cuter in the office. But they do the same stuff. You get the same feeling, but it don't sound like this. It sounds like this line I put right here. Sounds like stuff like this. This is what you need in those settings. This. I wouldn't say it, but in those settings, in order to not get fired, that's exactly what you need. This. But anyway, cutting you off in a group setting. Now, this is something I literally would say. But say you're talking, they'll do it and you'll feel it. They'll like see you talking and they'll try to brush off what you're saying, start talking about something else, or try to take what you're saying. Like, hey, actually, I wasn't even done talking. You know, simple. Actually, I wasn't done talking. Or hey, I'm still talking. Whatever. But just you have to know that you acknowledge that happened. Because I'm telling you, some people do it on purpose. Some people it's natural to them. Some people do this to you on purpose because they want you to be down and them to be up. Some people do it to you because they just feel like they above you. I have no idea why. Some people just get these feelings that they're above people. They might see the way you dress. Because say you got Aspergers, you might not care about fashion statements and stuff. So they see how you dress, they think you less than them. Or maybe the way you talk, you less than them. Or maybe you move around a little too happy, they think you less than them. Whatever. This this is what they'll do. So these are some of the things that they're gonna start. That certain dudes will start doing. That's showing that they already feel like they're above you. But if you let it slide, then they putting you in a whole new category, and they basically think like you they bitch or something. I didn't even want to curse in this video, but it happened. Uh, but let's go up here because this is something I want to talk about, like the aggression and all that, because this is not easy, and a lot of people like to say like, oh, if you do all this stuff, your life is gonna get better. Actually, when you do a lot of this, if you do this and you start getting good at it, your life is gonna get harder. It's not gonna get easier because now people are not gonna like you, especially if you do this to people that already had you in that category, and now you're trying to get out of it. This is gonna make your life much harder. And you got to be willing to commit to this and say, hey, I'd rather lose these friends than keep feeling like this. That's what assertion it costs. It costs to be assertive. So if you want to be assertive, just remember it costs. But yes, you're gonna have to do this, and it's gonna make your life harder. This is why I'm saying it's gonna make your life harder. Say for instance, this one, practicing confident body language. Where I'm from, a certain place where I'm from, like I said, you stick your chest out, help you stand up straight. That doesn't make people back away. Like I hear a lot of stories about people on the internet and stuff where they say, "Oh, I started bodybuilding so it can keep bullies away." That's I don't know where that works at, but the places I've been, that's gonna get you challenged because they're gonna say, "Oh, you think you're tough?" Some people they get so insecure when they see somebody that's intimidating them that it makes them provoke the person. It makes them go after the person, and they're gonna try to do something to you. So I would say not to not do this, but I'm gonna give you follow-ups to this. So I didn't type it on here, but I said it earlier. Take martial arts, and when I say martial arts, I mean something that you know can hurt somebody, and only because I want you to be able to defend yourself. Because there are people out here nobody tells us about that are just terrible people, and they'll try to bully you, push you, stand over you, walk over you, whatever. And if you don't have nothing to defend yourself, like you'll do all this, and in their mind, they thinking they already looked at you. If they start doing this type of stuff, if they even start doing this type of stuff, they already look at you as you're beneath them. So you haven't intimidated them at all, right? So if they're able to do this, you haven't even intimidated them anyway. So when you're being confident and doing that, but they see you as somebody that shouldn't be confident, they're gonna try to put you down. So that's where you need self-defense. The reason I say you need self-defense because these people will go there with you. And once you start doing some of this stuff and stand up for yourself, no, I'm not doing that. They might get really aggressive with you. They might get aggressive with you. You might not have to get aggressive with them at first because they might start it. And this is why I don't like this statement too much because it's that nice stuff that doesn't take into account real life people. Some people will raise their voice at you. What do? Stay there and be quiet. Now they think you're scared. I'm not telling you to prove yourself. Like it's not a man thing. Like, oh, I gotta prove I'm not scared. What I'm saying is you gotta let them know, hey, I'm just gonna disengage from this situation. I just told you I don't like. We don't gotta be around each other. That's a good way to get out of it without actually having to fight these people. But I'm telling you to have martial arts because you can't. You don't know what they're gonna do. I'm not telling you go beat on people. I'm telling you to have something to defend yourself. Definitely learn take up self defense, martial arts. Hey, what if you're in certain areas you might even need a weapon. I don't know. But you need something to make sure people know, hey, I can't mess with this person, and it's just easy for me. Some people will stop at just this stuff. Like they'll start things, and then you say, hey, I don't like that. They say, okay, I don't want to deal with this person. But from my experience, those bullies are not really even bullies. Those are people that just talk like that, and it might have rubbed you the wrong way, and they like, oh my bad, and they usually fix themselves. People that are real bullies, they don't care about none of this. They don't care about any of this. And this is why I was saying I need to make a video because bullies don't care about any of this stuff, right? They're going to breeze past all this because that's the definition of bully. They want to take something from you. Like it's a TV thing, I think, where people say a bully comes up, tries to take something from you. You say, hey, don't do that. Like swiper, no swiping. And he says, you know what? You got me. And then he leaves. That does not happen. This is what happens. When a bully want something from you and you don't give it to them, they're gonna try to take it. They're gonna try to make you give it first, like, hey, give me that. Then you're gonna say no. Now, when I say give me that, that could be anything. They could be trying to rob you. It could be your respect, like this. They could try to disrespect you, take something from you, touch you, whatever. They're trying to take something from you, and you could be like, no, I don't want you to take that. Then they say okay, and now they're gonna try anyway. They're gonna do more. And when I say have self-defense, I just mean have a way to defend yourself. Now, obviously, the person got a gun or something. We're not even talking about stuff like that, but just in case they got a gun or something, I would hope you have enough, brain to be like, this is not a winning scenario. So, like, that's what this guy's talking about. But I don't think that's what he's talking about. So he sounds, now I don't think he means this either, but that's what I think when I think of this. Minor things may not worth speaking up over. Minor things are worth speaking up over unless you know the situation is gonna go way too far. But you have to know a person to know that. So if you don't know the person and if you assess the person, they don't look super aggressive, super angry. You say, hey, I don't like what you did, and that's if you have to. You don't have to. Sometimes you can just disengage from a person and not deal with them ever again. That's also an option that I didn't put on here. But if you feel like they constantly disrespect, hey, I don't want to be around you. You're too disrespectful. I don't like it. Don't talk to them. Block them. Whatever. But that's everything. I'm pretty sure. Just take the martial arts. I say take the martial arts because you want to back all of this up because you're gonna get challenged. I promise you. It's not easy out here as a man. You think this is gonna make your life better? No, this is gonna make you look good to certain people. They're like, oh, he's confident. He's this. He's that. He likes himself. Whatever. But then it's gonna bring on actual aggression from people that might either be jealous of you or they might feel intimidated. So now they feel like they gotta, like some guys, if they see somebody they're intimidated by, it makes them think, hey, I have to make that person smaller so they can feel comfortable. So they're gonna come try to tear you down. So this is why this stuff doesn't work against that. I'm not saying martial arts does, but just knowing it and being strong enough to have it will make you feel more comfortable pressing this stuff because if they go further, you know, okay, if he goes further, I have somewhere I can go. But you always say, hey, I don't want to really deal with this. I don't like how you disrespect me. I'm going to leave. But you got that martial art, whatever in your back pocket. So when they do something, you could do something. You know, that's really it for the video. Stay tuned. I'm going to have more stuff.